Welcome back to Tax Sale Starters, where we bring you the latest tips and insights in tax lien and tax deed investings to help make you a smarter and a better investor. This week, of course, I'm bringing back Brian Sidesticker. As I promised you, we're going to keep getting information from Brian until we can just get as much information as we possibly can. And so that helps you to become a better investor. Brian has been talking about over the last few episodes how to get secondary market deeds and the value of land banks and things of that nature. So this week we're going to go a little bit deeper down a rabbit hole because I want to know more. And as people have been asking the questions, how do you get secondary liens in the market? Where do you go for those? That as soon as I return. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for joining us again. Of course, as I've told the audience, we're going to keep just trying to scrape as much information from you as possible. You've been talking about land banks and over-the-counter deeds and the secondary market for deeds. This week, we're going to go a little bit further down a rabbit hole and get an understanding about where to get secondary market liens. So if you provide an answer for that, that would be amazing.
Well, there's I guess a couple ways of going about it. I'll say the hard way, from my opinion. You can certainly reach out to the county. You can find out who bought the liens. I'll use Arizona, for example. You can reach out to the county, some counties, and you can ask them, hey, who bought the liens 3 years ago and what hasn't redeemed since then? If the county is willing to work with you, they'll send you, here's the liens that were bought, what they were bought for, they're still open. And then all of a sudden you'll have a list of names or companies that you can reach out to and say, hey, these are what I'm interested in buying your lien. It's a very manual process. There are some secondary market brokerages out there. Obviously it's biased because it's affiliated with Tax Resources, but Vision Trade Desk does secondary market transactions. It's not really a buy one or two at a time. You've got to buy a portfolio for it to really make sense for all parties involved. But Vision, trades $15 to $20 million a year in tax liens. So there's certainly volume out there to be had for anybody that wants to go down that route.
How big does a person need to buy into those portfolios?
Typically, if it's a chunk, 50 to 75,000 or more at a time, it'll start to make sense. It really just comes down to what's the offer price versus what the lien amount. I mean, typically the institutional guys aren't going to sell a lien that's for $1,000 one at a time, but they may sell a lien that's $100,000. So it just kind of comes down to what might make sense for them.
As always, Brian, thank you for joining us and sharing that insight for us, making us smarter and better and faster investors. Again, if you have any comments or questions, please drop them below so that we can answer them. And I'll take these directly to Brian, see if we can get some answers for you. So don't miss out on that opportunity to get these answers directly from the CEO and founder of Tax Sale Resources. As always, don't forget to check out taxsalefinders.com, where you can get your latest auction list, research your properties, and much, much more. Until our next show, happy investing.